Princess of Wales under attack once again, seemingly for not doing the right thing or indeed doing the wrong thing. Whichever way, this is their latest story, and as ever, I'm happy to share it with you. Morning, lovely to see you. Thank you so much as ever for your time today. By the way, cast your mind back to this day in 1967. I know you're probably just a baby in a pram, of course I understand that, absolutely. But when you think about it, it's these dates that I love sharing with you because you do kind of think, really? Was it that long ago? On this day, 1967, literally in the United Kingdom, was the very first time that you could actually use a bank cash dispenser outside. Yes, and it was actually launched by none other than Reg Varney of and it was launched by Reg Varney, of course, who was a big famous actor at the time, and of course On the Buses fame. You know, he was a comedian, pianist, very clever guy, in fact, sadly not remembered as much as he should be today. But it's funny to think, isn't it, that we think about instant cash now with our phones and transferring and stuff like that. Can you imagine how weird that must have been, though, going to the cash dispenser and then it coming out the wall for the first time? You'd think it'd be never ending, wouldn't you? If only it was, eh? But it's never like that, is it, sadly? Back as ever, though, to your royal story of the day. Now, as we've recently seen, it's been a big success, hasn't it, of course, the recent Trooping of the Colour. Forget the weather. Yes, that wasn't the best, was it? But nonetheless, you know, we got there in the end with some wonderful sunshine for the flyover. But now all eyes, of course, are on the Princess of Wales once again, Princess Catherine. And I kind of get really upset, but I share these stories with you simply because I want you to know what I know behind the scenes. You see, recently there was a sort of press release put out by the All England Lawn Tennis Association, which of course she is the patron of. And, you know, it's the big event, Wimbledon. If you've never been and you have an opportunity, do go. Absolutely spectacular. One of those English things that everybody really should, if you have the opportunity, have a moment in. But you'll need a second mortgage for the strawberries. Oh yes, sneak your flask in, that would be my advice. I've been lucky enough to cover it with regards with television. I met quite a few of the famous players along the way, including Pat Cash. Yes, lovely man, really lovely man, of course. And I think a woman who's done so much for English tennis, Judy Murray, the mother, of course, of Andy Murray, and of course his younger brother. Now, what I find fascinating about this particular story is this. Everybody's now pushing forward saying, will we now be looking forward to seeing Catherine, the Princess of Wales, attending this year's Wimbledon? We know it's one of her very favourite events. It really is, alongside her sister Pippa. And of course, the imagery that everybody remembers is the frostiness between the Duchess of Sussex and of course the then Duchess of Cambridge at their one and only Wimbledon appearance, as it were. But what's interesting here, you see, is a lot of people are now coming out and attacking the princess, saying, well, if she can go to that, why can't she do this? You know, they don't clearly understand how illness works. Sat in the sunshine, hopefully for a few hours, relaxing and switching your mind off from all the problems that you have, if you have that opportunity, can do you the power of good. That doesn't mean she's a shirker or doesn't want to go to work, but going to work or, you know, doing all the work with the charities that you've got to do is far more demanding. But now this sort of thing is building, as one can imagine, on social media. And the reason why I tell you this is that, you know, I think it is totally unfair. But the other side of the story is she going to be attending? The truth is, nobody knows. You know, you could say, oh yes, it's definitely down. Absolute rubbish. It's on a day-by-day basis. But what I have been told from a good source within the palace is that she would love at least to be able to present the main prize on the culmination of the championships. And I think she really would love to do that, you know. But on the other side of the coin, as she said recently, she has good days and bad days. And for that, we should be grateful. And for anybody who's going through that, we should be grateful. But why push somebody? But as ever, the moment somebody puts out a press release, suddenly that becomes folklore. I'm always happy to share this with you. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.